Okay, first things first, I get it. Fred here is dying. Not this branch, but this guy going up here. So you see how I've just secretly placed it behind the other one so you can't see it. I get it. And if you've been upset about that, I understand. I'm with you. Okay, but we have something very important to talk about today. And that is I'm going to perform. I'm working on my overriding goals for the launch of the IC solution. For those of you who don't know what the IC solution is, I'm going to show you really quickly. First, I'm going to share my screen with you. Dun, 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 dun. And the IC solution, we pop this baby up that allows us to give the quickest summary of the whole thing you can possibly imagine. This is your brain. This is you. This is me. This is any human. And we are born with this default perspective where all of our thoughts and all of our emotions and all of the craziness that goes inside of our heads is ourselves. All the toxic stuff, too. Uh, and that's fine. That's the way we're born. That's neither wrong nor right. Why would we think any differently? With the IC perspective and the IC solution, first, what is the IC? The instinctual core. We look at ourselves, the inside of our brain, as different. We look at it as us, me, you, the human is our consciousness along with our conscious brain, the part of our brain that we are able to directly control. And then there's this vast subconscious of stuff that's basically got us on autopilot 90% of the time, running our emotions, running our thoughts, and which leads to the running of our behaviors, everything we do. And so if this isn't in line with what we want in life, we're going to be doing all the wrong behaviors. We're going to be thinking all these horrible thoughts. So, but how does it get out of line? And that's where the instinctual core comes in. And this is, some people refer to it as like the primal reactive brain. But I don't want you to, with the IC perspective, we're no longer going to think about it as part of us, as our primal reactive brain. We're going to think of it as a separate entity inside our head that is focused on only one thing, and that is our survival. And by the way, it really is a separate agenda coming into your head from the core of this wonderful DNA strap trying to get you to do things to help you with your survival. And it was awesome 30,000 years ago, but in today's world, it doesn't work. It doesn't know how to adapt to this world. This world is totally different. This world is totally wonderful, but it doesn't understand what's going on. It sees emergencies, it sees threats everywhere, it sees treats everywhere, and it's lost. All right, that's the core. All right, so let me get rid of that, and then I'm going to talk about the disaster that we faced yesterday. And that was, I'm just starting to launch my goals. I finally got the IC goal tracker right here. That's where I am. Of on the instinctcenter.com. That's where you can come to perform the IC solution, work with others to investigate how your instinctual core is working inside of you. I've just got it all prepped where we can go live. And I'm working on quite a few different goals. I don't recommend you working on a whole bunch of goals in the beginning, but I've been doing this kind of offline for a long time. And two of the things I'm working on is not overcoming my anxiety. I got way over my social anxiety a long time ago when I started using this before we had this wonderful system. But now I'm trying to overcome my anxiety of the camera, of you. Yes, you and all you 8 billion people watching this, I'm sure. So, and what I'm doing is 2 different videos each day. And on the 7th day yesterday, I was kind of bubbling and babbling and blah, blah, blum, what, yeah, through the video I was trying to make over and over again. And finally, the instinctual core said, "You suck at this, get out of here." And I'd been overcoming it each time, but finally I gave in, so I had my first slip. So that's why I'm talking about doing a radar on the instinctual core today to investigate it, retrain it, and just get it back in line. And we're all going to have slips. So the overriding decision is to overcome this anxiety and make my 2 support videos each day. And this is actually going to be one of them. Radar is what we use to take a look at the instinctual core and see what it's doing. And it's a process of retraining it so that we can get our subconscious back. Okay, basically, let me show you. We want to go from unhighlight people. Why can't you? Okay. So this is where I started, where when I came in to do a video, I had this anxiety of speaking to the camera where I was totally hijacked. My subconscious was totally hijacked because I had the IC not trained for this world. I'm moving along and I was doing it just fine. It wasn't like I wanted to vomit like I did on the first day, but rather it was more like just enough doubt with enough thoughts about going to do something else that the IC won. But now I'm coming back the next day because that's the beautiful part about the IC solution. If you lose out one day to the instinctual core, and it's going to win because it's still yelling pretty loud. Every now and then it's going to take a win, but as long as you come in the next day, you're going to be okay because you're going to continue to make progress. So I'm going to click on Radar, and Radar is a process that we go through to investigate the instinctual core and see what it was doing. Okay, and so I clicked on it. When I click on it from the overriding goals, I can open up, and this is the process: recognize, ask, dissect, aha, and reassign. Okay, so the overriding decision. The overriding decision is what I showed you was is the your consciousness along with your conscious brain makes a decision, and anything else that goes into the nonsense of your subconscious is either currently being put there by the instinctual core or has been ingrained and grooved into the patterns of your subconscious over time. At the core of every issue, there is an unwanted reaction within you that you did not decide to have. Your objective is to identify this before acting upon it. Upon identification, give a brief description here. And I'm doing this the next morning, but I could have done it right then. And that's what I should have done. But one day later is not a problem. Okay, and it was just enough doubt in what I was saying, and I didn't put the doubt there. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not very good at getting it out of my brain, but I know. So let's say I know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm not very good at talking about it yet. And that's the whole point of practicing this over and over again. This is day 8, and I still suck at talking, but we're going to get better. Enough doubt and enough contradictory thoughts to my overriding decisions of something else to do. So it wasn't really the fear, right? I mean, it was fear. The doubt came with an emotional side of fear and a fear. And so now I'm breaking down in the recognized step. You're breaking down into the instinctual feelings and emotions that every single unwanted reaction can be broken down into, because it's all scientific, how everything can be broken down into these things. So there was judgment saying, hey, you're no good at this. Just quit. You suck. There was demand saying, go do something else. And I'm not going to put too much more. That was basically what was going on. And it was just high enough, over 50% for just long enough for about an hour, just to make me say, I'm bailing, right? And because this is not a job where I'm getting paid or anything, I have the freedom to leave. In the corporate world, you guys are kind of lucky in a way because you can't leave. You got to get the job done. But in this world, in a world where someone is starting something new, their artistic passion, the reason they were put on this world, and for me, that's this IC solution to help people, we have the option to run away. And that's why so many wonderful dreams are killed, because there's always something else to do. All right. But I'm not going to let that happen because I'm going to work at this every day. I had this slip and it's a real learning lesson. So the initial intensity, the whole time, I'd say is about 7. You know, I said over 50%, but it was just enough nagging away at me So that was the way uh, I was looking at the world. And before I thought of the IC solution, that would have always got me to run away. Would have got me to run away years in a row. Can you identify the input that triggered the reaction? Yes, and this is just for your own benefits. It's just like failed attempts at the video I was working on. Okay, so now I know what was going on in my head, not having to do anything with the instinctual core, because on the recognize step, we just look at what's going on as if the whole world is, if we are the whole world, the default perspective I talked about. So then we move on to next, and this next step is important, very, very important. Why? Why, you ask? Very good question. Let me move that out of the way. You did not decide to create or decide you know that you did not create or decide to have this toxic internal reaction. I didn't want to have the doubt. I didn't want to have the fear. I didn't want to have the demand saying I couldn't do it, but something did. Are you ready to investigate if it was your instinctual core who was behind it all? Okay, basic question. Yes, you're going to be ready, but what's so important about this step is you remember that you're working on this experiment with us to see, to make that separation in your head where you're up here, there's an instinctual core that's a separate entity, like a little puppy that just happens to be residing in your head. The puppy wants nothing but good for you, but it just doesn't know what good is. It wants you to help you survive. It doesn't know how to help you survive in this world. So you've got to retrain it. So it's the ask step is basically a reminder of what we're working on. And once you ingrain that in enough times through repetition, you'll be able to go into with mindfulness into all aspects of life, which I'm doing so good at ever since I actually started using the IC Goal Tracker 8 days. So yes, I'm ready to find out. Aha! And that opens up the whole user's guide to the world, or to the inside of our head. No longer are we thinking about the inside of our head as just us with a bunch of crazy thoughts telling us to do the wrong thing. We realize there's an instinctual core in it, and it's sending us these signals for very specific reasons. Okay? And for me, I know how to break this one down. You will come to the IC investigation meetups and start to see how other people are breaking this down inside of them. And over time, it'll become real clear to you how it's doing the same thing. And for me, since this is kind of based off of my social anxiety that I had before, I knew what that was all about. And that is the instinctual core only has three external reactions. It wants to destroy the survival threat, avoid the survival threat, or attain the survival treat. And in this case, it was very much avoid the survival threat, because it saw, and let me finish that off by clicking on this side of it. It saw that I'm trying to talk to the camera. I'm trying to tell the instinctual cores is saying, who do you think you are, telling the world, telling the entire tribe that you know better than them? You're telling your elders, you're telling everyone in the tribe, you're telling Unga and Dot and all these people, everyone, that you know better than them. You're jumping up to the top of the tribal pecking order, and that is going to get you killed. Jumping out of your space in the pecking order 30,000 years ago very much could get you killed, get you thrown out of your tribe. So the instinctual core doesn't care about me getting laughed at or whatnot. It cares about me surviving. And if I jump out of my space in the pecking order, I could die. That's what it's telling me anyway. But I can't now. No one's going to kill me because they're laughing at me. And I don't care if people are laughing at me. I know that this has worked to save my life, and I know it's going to help some of you out there. The rest of you feel free to laugh at me. Okay, so this is big because I've made the connection from inputs. The inputs that were coming in, and that was me working on the videos and seeing that I didn't get it the first time and saying, hey, I'm failing. So that was kind of input. And it was saying, oh, you're failing. You shouldn't be doing this anyway in the first place. And so from input all the way to output, what I was trying, and it actually won yesterday. I took off. I ran and I left and went to play golf. Now, although these may have been true survival requirements 30,000 years ago, not to jump to the top of the pecking order, do they represent an imminent threat to your survival today? Hell no. You get how ridiculous that is? Okay? And so that's the moment where we say, aha, aha, I have been hijacked. I was hijacked and I let it win. So I had my first slip and I marked that slip. Okay? But even when it was happening, I knew it was happening. And sometimes the IC is going to win, and that's okay. But I come back in here and I'm talking about it today, and we've learned from it. And what's so cool is like before, if you give in to the fear and you run away and you believe that fear is your own and you feel that satisfaction from getting to run away, you get that pleasure when everything inside of your head is your own, then you remember, oh, this is a good experience. I can just take off whenever there's a time of struggle and I get away with it. But what really happened is I didn't get to passionately work on what I wanted to do, what the reason I've been placed on this earth for. So I'm coming back today and realizing, okay, it didn't work out yesterday, but it's working out today, right now. Okay, so, and that's where we kind of focus on, we want to stress this aha moment to see that I've been hijacked and I was hijacked. And you don't only do it after you failed, you want to do it. I should have been doing it when it was giving me the doubt and making me rethink. It was sending the demands, the judgment, the fear, and I could have put a stop to it right then, which I have done over and over repeatedly over the last 8 days and over the last 8 years. So the activation, I see, oh, okay, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not gonna kill me if I step out of my place in the pecking order. That's not the way life works anymore. In fact, if you ever want to get your message across anyway, you have to step out of your place in the pecking order. The internal reaction, the fear, the demands, the judgment, drop them. Shine a light on them. You see this light here, right here, shining a light, saying all these things, all that fear and doubt, you can just let it pass through you. The external reaction, obviously running away is not going to help me. It's not going to make me learn. It's just going to make me start a pattern that I don't want to live in. And was I happier for it? Hell no, I didn't get at the end of the day, I am happiest when I've passionately pursued in the moment of flow, in the moment of single focused action of what I want to be doing. And so I see logically here, and you don't need to click all of these every single time. The logic is like, I say, overall, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm in a trap when I run away. And if I run away today, I'll run away tomorrow. And it's an endless trap. And there's so many traps the instinctual core puts in. And then it's the underlying beliefs. I can see the big underlying beliefs that I had a long time ago that led me to my alcoholism, that I'm not good enough. And that works more on the IC evaluation layer. But we're not getting to that. You don't need to click all of these. It's just about pushing it further down into your subconscious. And I'm losing my voice. Hold on one second, homies. So what do I want to do with this? I want to, okay, you could just do a pass through where you say, okay, little instinctual core, I see what you're up to. I appreciate you trying to save my life, but that's not the way things work anymore. So I'm just going to let your little fear and demands and judgments pass through. I acknowledge it. I see it. And when you do that to the instinctual core, next time it's going to come back. It's going to scream again for you to do the same thing, but it's going to get a little quieter. Since I actually did run away yesterday, I fully acknowledged when I did run away that it was the instinctual core and it won. And so because of that, it still got quieter today. I came in with very little anxiety, knowing that, yeah, I took a break, right? But we're going to, for this, I actually have to do something. I've got to move on to the human side. And for that, we proceed to the roar phase. Okay. And that's the roar. The roar technique is reactivating your human side, because I don't want to be working on these videos because I'm being forced to, because I'm being demanded to and judged and judge that I'm not good enough if I don't do it. I want to work on it through the layers of human happiness, where you can work on anything, get all this that you need out of life by working on these things up here. So let's finish this off. This is more of a pass-through situation, like say if the instinctual core is trying to get you to smoke and it set off an instinctual event, a craving. You can watch us just cool down because smoking or eating junk or getting a drink is not a constant. It is not yelling at you nonstop. Even though I used to get yelled at by the instinctual core 7,000 times a day to go get a drink, it was actually a bunch of individual events that I just let go on top of each other instead of watching one until it dropped down. So I'm watching this and say, okay, I brought the fear down, what you do, and that's when you submit and save your radar. And congratulations on a successful instinctual core training. Okay, now I'm going to jump back here, go back to the IC goal tracker, and you see I've got my roar, my radar completed, and now I'm going to complete a roar on this goal. And by the way, when you do a roar is reactivating your human side. That applies to all the different goals that you're working on, but a radar just works on a particular goal. And I don't do a lot of them, but I should be doing more. I don't do a lot of them because I've been doing them for the last 8 years. So I usually do the radar quick catches where I can run through my head, but I got to teach you guys how to do them. All right, so roar is when we take the way we were feeling, and which for me was, the fear, demands, and judgments, and I had been hijacked. This is just the default where everything is lit up. Describe the desired action. Make a video. Okay. Are you ready to turn this cumbersome obstacle run by your instinctual core to an efficient, exciting, enjoyable project led by you? Now you see how this is working in the flip direction. Usually I wouldn't have started the video, but I'm showing you how to do it. So, and I'm also doing this because doing this is helping me. Because when I'm actually talking through it, it's so much more helpful. And when I'm talking to anyone who ever watches this, because I'm posting all these, they're going to learn how to do it themselves, but they're also going to see what I'm up to. So I have a level of accountability, and that's the beautiful part about the IC investigative meetups. When you have a group that you're working with, you have accountability to them, but you can also just talk through things with them and figure it out. So yes, I am ready to go. And I'm going to, instead of working down there, I'm going to figure out, okay, making a video. Can I make it interesting or enticing? Absolutely. And that's where the intrigue comes in and say, this is something I want to do. Instead of saying, the video I was making yesterday was called Alcoholism is Not Your Fault. And it's a puzzle to figure out how to put it on this user's guide. It's a puzzle. It's really intriguing. Can I find something amazing or beautiful about it? Absolutely. Because what's amazing and beautiful is this saved my life. It made me be able to wake up every single morning. And I think it's going to save a lot of people. I know it's going to save a lot of people, and hopefully you. And then can I turn it into a worthy challenge? A worthy challenge, yeah, obviously. But engagement, I put here in the we're reassessing how it was before. Remember, before it was here on the pecking order, forced me to do it, or maybe even the thing that was forcing me to do it was the safety layer where I've got to go get my job done, bring home the bacon. Okay, so that's different than the pecking order that made me run away. But the engagement is a step that's coming up. We have 4 steps: reassess, organize, action, and reward. And the engagement, this is kind of a setup for the engagement that is really going to happen in this single focused action step. That's when I'm doing the work. And that's when I would be making the video if I wasn't actually making the roar video as part of the video. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Anyways, yes, it is absolutely a worthy challenge. It is not an overcomable obstacle. Okay, can I better myself by doing it? Hell yeah, I'm learning how to do what I want. Make videos freely, clearly, and without the stammering and stumbling and stambling and uhs and buts and and okays. And that's going to take a while. And a higher purpose? hey, if this helps one purpose, then we got some purpose involved. Next. Okay, here's where you organize yourself. And this is I'm already way organized. I've got everything like I've got this all set up so I can make this video. But if you don't like if you're moving into a cumbersome task where it just let's go back to the old thing. What's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. To figure out the bites, you just got to break things down into little pieces. That's what the organized step is all about. It can help you overcome the greatest tasks and obstacles by breaking it down into little sizable chunks. And that's why it's important. It's not going to be important for this one. I've already done all the organization. Okay, and here's where the single focused action happens. You say, okay, this is going to take me about, this is where there's some sort of compromise. Say the thing is going to take you 3 days to do. You don't want to do all 3 days at once. You want to figure out how long can I give complete dedication to it. And in the beginning, you don't want to start with anything more than maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But I start with 20 when I'm about 20 when I'm doing it, 25 before I just take a quick water break and then come back and do another 25. Some Pomodoro thing says, yeah, it's your brain works better if you're taking at least 5-10 minutes of rest because it takes a lot of energy to run the brain. But just because I'm actually doing the focus right now, the action, I'm just going to show you how it works. We're counting up just in case you reach your 25 minutes or whatever, and you keep on going. So you see your allotted time, and then you can go beyond it rather than a countdown where it just stops. So you can see how long you actually did focus as you get better and better. So next, I'm gonna start the clock, and that's when the outputs of the external reactions that are the instinctual cores destroy the threat, avoid the threat, overcome, attain the treat, is when it changes to all the different activities we have in this human world. And I know this is not a very good representation. We could work on that, but you get the point. At 3 seconds, it popped up, says, congratulations for reaching your goal, and now I've gone beyond. So that takes us to next. And now here's the cool part. When the instinctual core inside your head sees that you're figuring out how to do things better than it can in this world, it knows that. And it starts to send you reward. After any progress, be impressed with yourself. No negativity. Then your instinctual core will reward you by sending gratification as it begins to learn that you have found a much better method of improving your survival. Potential rewards. Did you stay on task for the allotted time? I did. And I'm happy that I'm actually getting through this video. And so actually the instinctual core is sending me the gratification. Remember, it's sending you pleasure. But working through up here is where true happiness exists, because these are growth things. These are things you can be doing all the time. Unlike physiological, where you need to eat something for it to send you a treat. You can't go back and keep on eating to get the law of diminishing returns, right? But so these are blanking on the name, but over here you can continue to live in this world where it will continue to send you pleasure for doing things that is helping you grow. Did you stay single focused through the majority of the project? I did. Did you finish the intended project? I did. More pleasure. Woohoo! And just the act of clicking is scientifically proven. Clicking off things is scientifically proven to send you little hits of pleasure. I'm not going to get into the neurobiology, chemical makeup of that. Some people just like to say dopamine, but it's really a very much more complex mix. And there we have it. Submit. And you see, I went from here. Well, this is an overall, just general, all hands on deck alarm sent by the instinctual core to here. Before, your actions forced by your instinctual core, to after, my actions driven by me. And that is a full radar roar on my overcoming of the camera and you. And I've got no fear of you anymore. You're my buddy. Okay? So I appreciate you. And I want you to know that this is the way I'm working at it. But this user's guide is so flexible. You can break down anything you're going through on this IC Users Guide. And we'll all be here to help you with it in the IC Investigative Meetups. So just jump on over to the Instinct Center. And in closing, I just wanted to say that I developed the IC solution in a complete state of desperation. I tried everything out there to quit drinking, and I was on a downward spiral with the finish line of death until I found the first inklings of the IC solution. And I've developed it for many years to help it have the same result to so many people out there that are suffering. Please help me reach as many people as I can by liking and subscribing to this video. And if you're ready to start making changes for yourself, please come visit us at the Instinct Center and start to try out the separation from your instinctual core and join us in the IC investigation meetups and start your own overriding decisions of your own. I can't wait to have you. It's all for free for the time being, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you. See you soon.